All right, so we're doing this beautiful card featuring the Color Your Seasons limited time products from Stampin' Up. And the blended season stamp set. Let me get my actual products in here and show you. These are limited time products available from Stampin' Up in August only, but while supplies last. So we're going to use the blended season stamp set. Hey, Terry. This stamp set is huge. I'm having trouble even fitting it all in view. It's a beautiful all-season stamp set. Let me show you a couple of the samples I made. Here's another sample. Same stamp set. Beautiful Christmas card. I'm starting to get in the Christmas mood a little bit after seeing the Stampin' Up! Holiday catalog. Hey, all right, now this one, here's another one that I kind of cased from the marketing materials, changed it up a little bit, made it more my style. I like standard size cards. I don't like square cards. Beautiful spring wreath. And so those are some of the things or cards that I made from this gorgeous set. The greetings are kind of timeless in their font, I think. There's lots to choose from. Friends, miss you, thank you, best wishes. You can go fall with the leaves or the stalks of wheat. Definitely a very versatile stamp set. Great for coloring if you like to color. And then the other part of this bundle is the Stitched Seasons framelits. Now this is where I went a little wild with it, and that's why I chose this one to do today. The Stitched Seasons framelits are really fun. They've got these 3 label pieces. That's where I'm really excited. But an adorable bow, a beautiful outline leaf, some swirly curly Q pieces, and then what my friend Rhonda calls the salad pieces. There's a beautiful little floral sprig here. We used it on this card. And this little leaf and sprig combo. Very good to mix and match with any other die sets you have. But the really exciting part for me are these 3 labels. And if you look closely at them, you'll see that they are stitched and then solid and then stitched. And that allows you to cut out the label so that it is stitched on the label piece and stitched on the negative piece, which gives you tons of versatility. So I highly recommend picking up these Stitched Seasons dies while they're available, because these are going to be forever tools in your collection, these label dies. I see this one for little treat bags, like the 2x8 treat bags in the Stampin' Up! Catalog. We've got Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up, and those are going to make great like table favors. This one for like the card size bags. So like this one, you can put a nice little topper by cutting that and folding it in half. So this is going to be a very versatile die set, in that it cuts the label stitched and the negative piece. It's different from some of the other things that I have in my collection. So I was really excited about the die set. We're going to feature those in today's card. There's also a new release of watercolor pencils. There's an assortment too. It does say that those will possibly be available in another publication catalog, but the rest of these products will not be. So August only and while supplies last. So that's what we're featuring here. Let me tell you what other things we need. So you've seen the stamp set, you've seen the dies. You're going to need a Balmy Blue Stampin' Pad, Memento Tuxedo Black Stampin' Pad. I've got my Basic Gems Pearls. I've got my Wink of Stella, which is a mess. Don't look too closely. I use my Taylor Tag Punch. Look at what a mess that is too. My stuff gets used, man. And that's what I use for doing these little dovetails. What else have I got hanging around here that we need? My Stampin' Blends are, I colored with Stampin' Blends this time. Petal Pink, Dark and Light. Those are new ones that are available right now. And then Old Olive, Dark and Light. And then I've got Daffodil Delight, Dark and Light, and Pool Party. So those are my Stampin' Blends. And my kit here consists of a balmy blue card base that's 8.5 by 5.5 and it's scored at 4 1/4. I've got a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of Whisper White. Now this is going to be on the project sheet. This is the little banner piece that spans the window. So I did all the work for you and figuring out the measurements. That one is 5.5 by 7/8, and then it's scored at 1 1/4, and you can either flip it and do 1 1/4 again, or you can score at 4 1/4 and 4.5. The measurements will be on the project sheet, so you know exactly what size to span that label. I've got pear pizzazz and cut out 2 ahead of time of these little sprig and leaf pieces. And I've got a little piece of Calypso coral, and I cut just the flower piece of that sprig. So let's see here. First thing I want to do is get my Big Shot in here, and I want to cut the label from the front of the card. But before I jump in and get Stampin' Up, I want to bring this in here for a second. I'm doing a weekend special. I am very close to earning the Greek Isles incentive trip, and so I've got a weekend special for you. If you order the Blended Seasons bundle, that includes the Blended Seasons stamp set and the Stitched Seasons framelits, it's $64.75, and I am going to send you, as my thank you gift to you, a card kit just like this. Everything will be cut for you. You'll have all the embellishments. Your die cutting will be done. Your designer series paper included for each of these 3 cards as my thank you gift to you. So if you'd like to get a head start using your Blended Season bundle, order with the hostess code, and I will send you some card kits as a thank you gift to get you stamping with it right away. Now, one more bonus, something that I haven't talked about yet. In addition to getting the card kits, if you order from me with the host code, you will also receive, when you order your Blended Seasons bundle, a $5 coupon, bonus days coupon, that you can use for any purchase that you make with Stampin' Up! In September. So any increments of $50 earns a $5 bonus days coupon. If you do 100, you earn 2 bonus days coupons. There is absolutely no limit to the number of bonus days coupons you can earn. So if you're on the website and you're ordering with the hostess code, the $64.75 bundle, $64.75 bundle, and you want to bump it up to 100, you can do that and earn 2 bonus days coupons. So a little bonus this weekend for a weekend special. Not only will Stampin' Up! Throw in a $5 coupon, but I'll throw in your first set of card kits to get you using the Blended Seasons. All right, so my Big Shot is right here, and it's set up for die cutting. Let's go ahead and die cut the front of our card. We're going to use the middle size label, and we're going to open up the card base, pop it in, and center the label right in the front. You want to make sure that you're equal right to left and top to bottom, and that the label is going to cut a nice straight window. And once you got that, you're good. It's going to cut out the label with the stitches and leave the label shaped window with the stitches around it. So you can hold on to the balmy blue label for another project. I'll be stamping later this afternoon. I think I'm going to go get myself an audiobook and do some stamping while I listen, because I've got tons of great new products. All right, so there's our label all stitched and our little window. I love this die set. Oh, makes me so happy. All right, now we need some scratch paper here because we are going to stamp off the edges of our card. So get that in there. And I have balmy blue for my stamping pad. Here's this beautiful floral image from the stamp set. We're going to ink that up with balmy blue. And we're going to stamp off the upper right corner and the lower left corner. So you want to open up the card completely so you're not stamping the inside of the card also, although it will get covered up, so I guess it doesn't matter that much. But you're just looking to add a little detail onto that card base. And then right here, we're going to stamp a little bit more. So pretty little frame element, just kind of moving to the bottom left of the card. Now let me wipe that off because we're going to use that with Memento next. We might as well do that while we're stamping. Set this to the side. We can get rid of my funny phone book paper. And I can kind of go off in the corner. Here's our Whisper White insert panel. And we're going to stamp the flowers for inside the card. Now, I chose to color with Stampin' Blends, so you can absolutely color in with anything that you feel comfortable with in this stamp set, but it doesn't need to be colored in. It looks very pretty if you stamp or ink it up with any of the colorful Stampin' Up stampin' pads like the Balmy Blue that we just used, and stamp it in colors. You can take the different parts of the stamp set, like this big floral and then the little sprig of leaves, and you can stamp them in different colors and kind of layer them over and make some pretty background paper. There's uses for this even if you don't love to color. If you stamp it on colored cardstock with Versamark and emboss in white, then the white is your outlines and everything's colored in for you. Stamp one on a pretty pink paper, stamp one on green, and then cut the leaves and paper piece them. Fun ways to use this even if you don't color. Oh, you know what? Since I have the ink, why don't we just do our greeting too before I fold that in any way. It'll be nice and flat surface to stamp on. Okay, so wishing you all the best is going to get inked up with Memento and stamped centered on the greeting banner. Not too bad, not too bad. Let's get that out of there. Now, a couple of quick coloring tips. Let me bring this in. So it's a very big image, and what I wanted to do was add some dramatic color without a lot of work. So I chose to keep my flower mostly white and bring in some petal pink. And I'll do one of these for you here, and I'll do the rest after, I think. So what I'm going to do with my petal pink is I'm going to come in and kind of draw in a little shadow right underneath the center of the flower there. And then I'll trace along the lines that the artist drew in on the petals. And then from there, using a flicking motion, I'll go from the center out with the petal pink. This is the light version of the petal pink. And just kind of flicking out from the center. Now I'm going to go with shorter little strokes here and a little bit longer in the front here. So just little flicking movements, little strokes. Sally says, glad you're back. I missed watching Facebook Live with you. Thanks, Sally. I've missed you guys. I feel a little out of practice over here. I've missed you guys too. All right, so then I'm going to, with the, what do they call this one? Color lifter. It's different from what some of the other alcohol marker brands call their colorless. All right, and then I'm just using those same kind of flicking strokes and going from the outside to the inside, which is softening the edges of that petal pink. Gina says she can't stay today. She'll watch the replay later. All right, I'll have it ready on Facebook right away, and then I'll blog it later on. Today or tomorrow, I'll get it up on the blog with the project sheet. So, yep, catch me on the replay, Gina. All right, so now I'm also softening those lines that we traced. And so you can see it's kind of fading out. Now this is wet, and this is dry. So you see it softens up as it dries. Now we're going to go with the dark petal pink. And we're going to put back in a little shadow here so we get some depth. And you can even go along those lines a little bit that the artist drew in, just down a little bit. But you just want a subtle effect there. Okay, so we'll do that for all three flowers and then let it dry. On the inside of the flower, we're going to color those with the light Daffodil Delight. But then to give those some depth, we're going to take the bullet point of the dark Daffodil Delight and just along the base of each of those little like circles that make up the center of the flower, we're just dotting in the darker Daffodil Delight. It's going to give a little texture to that image. Carol says hello. Hello, Carol. Now, we're going to do kind of a similar technique with the pool party that we did in the centers, but let me show you a leaf first here. I should have colored one of these up all ahead of time to put inside the card, but what we're going to do is just, I'll attach it in and color it later. I don't think you need to see me color all of them. So I'm coloring my leaf with the light Old Olive marker, and I'm not going for a full intense color in on the first go. Otherwise, we're going to build up a whole lot of color and we might leak outside the lines of the image. So we've got our base coat, and then we'll go in with our darker Old Olive, and we're going to add a shadow. The base of the leaf, like towards the plant, is going to be shadowy. Behind these petals here is going to have a little shadow. And then what we're going to do is down this edge of the leaf that's like facing toward the ground, we're going to add a little shadow. Then a bit on the veins, we'll just lightly trace them. Then we'll take our light Old Olive and just blend those two together where the dark and the light meet, and we're using small circle strokes to do that. Okay, it's a little harsh right here still, so I'm going to go back a little bit more circles. And now you'll see that it's not all blended to one medium tone, and that's something that I'm very prone to. So take my advice and go slow. I'm going to add a little bit more dark in the shadow here and do a little blending. Let it dry a bit and see where it might need a little more, but don't be too quick to scribble all over the top of it once again, because then what you end up is with blended images that are all blended out to one kind of medium shade. It's way too much work to just get medium. So go with a light hand, let it dry a bit, and then go back to it after if you feel like something still needs to be blended. But so this is wet, and you can see that those gradients are a little bit more obvious when it's wet. When it dries, it becomes a little bit less so. So wet and dry. Everything softens up a little bit as it dries. All right, so that's our coloring there for the flowers and leaves. Now let's talk about the background a little bit. You just pool party, the light one, and your color lifter. And what you're going to do is get in between all these little nooks and crannies here that are kind of deep shadow. And you're going to color those really full strength with your pool party marker. So see, we'll only do this half. And then right here we got a good strong area where we'd be covered in shadow. Now, what we want to do past that is bring it out just a little bit. So underneath these little sprigs, underneath this leaf, maybe connect these two. You don't want to get too crazy here with how far you bring it out. Up along the edge of this little leaf or petal here. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Under here we're going to need some, because it's almost just where a shadow would be. And then we're going to work in little circles. I'm going to go with the bullet because we're pretty close here. Back into those blue shadows. And you're going to just kind of scribble over them and give the color lifter a little time to work. And what that'll do is it'll soften the edges and bring that blue shadow and blend it out so that it fades to white. Not too difficult. And if it's a little dark, you just scribble into those darker places, but you use wide open squiggles, not hard little circles that's gonna like erase it all out. You want some areas where it's a little darker, a little lighter. We're gonna focus on the edge where the white and the pool party meet. Now I think that I need just a little bit more of an intense shadow underneath this guy. So I'll add a little more pool party and then soften it. But that's the idea. Here still looks a little harsh, so we'll come back in where the white and the blue meet and soften it. Again, when it's wet, it's gonna look harsh. It does soften up as it dries, so here's that idea of that soft shadow. It adds so much depth and dimension to your image. All right, the last thing I'm gonna do with this, well, I'll finish coloring it before I call this card done, but I won't color it on video because it's all repeats of what you've just seen. But I'm gonna go in with the center of my flowers with my Weka Stella and just add the tiniest bit of sparkle. Okay, then we're almost ready to finish up this card. Can you guys believe it? It's a simple one. The coloring does go pretty fast too. I'm going to take a bit of snail adhesive and I'm going to finish coloring this one. So I'll probably, center that one so that you can see. Now we're going to take our wishing you all the best and we're going to take off about a 1/4 inch on each side. You want to just watch that as you're clipping and clip equally. That was a tongue twister. That's pretty good. And then we'll bend forward and back and then reverse that. Forward and back and then reverse that. We've got this perfect little dimensional banner now that spans that little label on the front of our card. Now your adhesive only goes on this little dovetail piece right here. So what you'll want to do there is get yourself kind of a strong adhesive. I'm going to go with tear and tape here. And you want to put it on this very end of the banner. That's going to preserve your dimensionality of the banner, and it's going to make sure keep you from gluing your card shut. So I'll take the release paper off of those, and then before I put this down permanently, I'm going to grab my little spriggy pieces. We're going to dry fit this because what I wanted was, since there's such a little area to write inside of this card, you could, do a to greeting here, hello so-and-so, and, with love so-and-so in the corner. But this little piece right here, if you keep the salad away from it, you could also put a little personalization or a surprise message right inside your banner. So I wanted to make sure that the salad didn't interfere with that prime real estate on the back of the banner there. You could also stamp the congrats greeting from the stamp set because the size is nice and it coordinates with the wishing you all the best. So that inside banner space can be used if we're careful that our salad doesn't overlap at all. Of course, Rhonda's not here the day that I keep calling it salad. My friend Rhonda calls all these little green sprigs and greeneries that get added to cards. She calls those the salads. All right, so we're going to just kind of dry fit. We want to make sure adhesive isn't inside the card, that it's on the edges. Don't burnish it down quite yet, though, because we're going to tuck those little greenery pieces in. Okay, I'm happy with that one, so I'll press down. And let's get this one. And we want to catch that one in there too. Okay, there we go. So now we've got pretty good placement of our sprigs. And to further give them some stability, we still want them to look that they're kind of flowy, but we want to make sure that they're not going to come off the card when somebody takes it out of the envelope. So we'll just spot glue some of the leaves here. I'm going to grab just these 2 little leaves with a little multi-purpose liquid glue. Now, we cut out that little Calypso coral flower ahead of time, and I'm going to tuck that little dude in. If I can find that little dude. Anybody see what I did with that flower? Oh my goodness, it's been a while since I've lived. Now I can't find my flower. Guess what? I'm going to nap it out of another kit. Because as soon as I clean up, it'll show up. So here's one of the little kits that I'm offering for this weekend. When you buy the Blended Season Bundle, you will get a kit for this card and 2 others delivered right to your mailbox. It'll be automatic. If you order the Blended Season today, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and you use this host code, I'll send the 4 or the 3 card kits to you to get you started using your new bundle. And you'll also get $5 bonus days coupon from Stampin' Up. So I added a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue there, and we're going to go ahead and just tuck our little die cut flower. And then I've got the basic Stampin' Gem pearls and my brand new Take Your Pick tool. This is coming in the holiday catalog. You can use your coupon on your very own Take Your Pick tool. I'm going to pick up one of these pearls here. See, it sticks right to the end of the Take Your Pick tool. No need to pick it up or fumble with it. And then we'll bring it over to our flower center and just burnish it down. And there it is. Wishing you all the best. Here's our completely colored version. We got to get that guy in there. I've missed you guys. It's been terrible. Alaska was amazing. It was just beyond words. If you haven't seen my pictures or my video unpacking my suitcase after the incentive trip, scroll back on the Facebook page a little bit and you'll see I unpacked the suitcase that I came home from the incentive trip with. It was amazing. Stampin' Up treated their leaders so nicely on the incentive trip. I can't get all this in the picture to save my life. There we go. So that's kind of it. All right, you guys, if you've got no questions about the current promotions or about the card, I am going to get out of here and finish coloring the sample that we did today. I got a lot of crafting coming up this afternoon. If there's anything I can do to keep you crafty, email me, marissa@kitchentablestamper.com. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next week. We're getting back on schedule here after the incentive trip, so I'll see you Friday at noon. Bye, guys.